Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and we're back with some more SFO Grimhammer showcases. The newest patch for SFO Grimhammer is the Land of Wealth, and that will drop on its beta form on June the 3rd. It's not long now. So once again we're going to be showcasing some campaign changes, as this is the first campaign focused patch. As always, I do have to remind you that this is going in its beta form, so anything that you do see might be subject to change. And if you have any suggestions on any changes, leave them in the comments below, as the SFO team do check out these changes and the reactions just to gauge viewer interest. In this video, we're going to focus around the Demons of Chaos led by the Daemon Prince. This is the true Demons of Chaos faction, as all demons are available to recruit and it's not a mono-god faction, so a few changes have come into effect to more or less break him out a bit more, as in its current vanilla state the faction just works as, well, just here's the army book and let's go. So let's go check out all the changes. We'll start off with the changes to control. So control, if you start getting to a positive, will affect leadership, unit recruitment, experience province-wide. This is good if you want to play defensively and you never know if the enemies start dogpiling you, though we have seen a reduce of player bias. It's just the case that it can happen. Now, the second thing, which I think is the best thing here, is that Lord recruitment level has been improved with control, but this is faction wide. So as you start empire building, you'll be able to get more and more greater demons at the very beginning. You'll be able to start just getting high level characters and you'll get all the really cool exalted demons. Which, how it works through my own testing, is essentially you'll just have no need for heralds. Well, you can still use heralds, but you know, you've got the cooler ones. Ports will now affect hero action success chance. You see that as you upgrade them, it will get stronger and stronger for all heroes in the same province, which might not seem too useful when it starts here, but this is thinking ahead in the future for Immortal Empires, where we know there's going to be loads of ports and loads of ways to attack, so you can take the port, defend it, use your heroes in that province to start causing some issues, like say for example destroying walls or even going against other enemy heroes, and you'll start to notice the benefit there. Resource buildings will now also help you towards ambush defense chance for all armies in province, which will be very useful if you start dealing with, say for example, a lot of Skaven. A lot of the stuff that's being written in here is to also help out with future patches, so I think it makes a lot of sense. We are finally in Q3, which means the Immortal Empires beta will eventually come out, so thinking ahead is always smart. Military buildings have received a lot of radical changes. You see, as it stands, we have 4 different types of military buildings because, well, we've got 4 different armies. So what's happened here is that they've all received new effects and campaign effects, not only just for units, but the effects that you do get do depend on what god you dedicate it to. So right now, we are just looking at the Cornate one, but what I'm going to allow is for this to just play through, and you can see all the effects for all the other gods too. I also forgot to mention, so jumping on with a quick edit here, is that all the infrastructure buildings have also received changes depending on the god, so different bonuses here and there, which relates to them in a lore-friendly type of way. So again, I'll be just scrolling through all of them, and I'll see you guys back in about a minute or two. Be'lakor himself has had a few changes in case you decide to bring him into the fold as your little slave, so his trait now grants +1 leadership and +5% melee and missile weapon damage per rank achieved to your units, and also a -10% upkeep for your army itself. This now makes Be'lakor a lot more viable for you to lead an army because, well, let's be honest, the vanilla interpretation is just not great. Hopefully Creative Assembly decide to change that, but until then, this works out very, very well. So we're going to talk about the changes to the Daemon Prince himself. First up, glory has been lowered, so the gain for it has been lowered by around 25%, which might be noticeable, but that depends on how slowly you get into battles, because the main way to actually get glory is battling. But he's had some improvements to how it works for his skills, so in general, you will notice him being stronger, just unlocking units might be a bit slower depending on your playstyle. I play in a very aggressive way, so I haven't really noticed the issue. Mostly because as soon as I start moving in, I can get a second army going, and it isn't too hard to start getting the ball rolling, especially since a lot of buildings now do offer glory, so you will notice glory actually moving a bit faster as you start getting more territories. And this is also supplemented with the fact that all glory rewards beyond the lock points receive new effects, especially the undivided one, which makes it a lot more viable now. It depends on your playstyle. I'm not going to go through every change because there is a lot, but I am scrolling over them. And yeah, now you do feel like you're devoting yourself more to a specific god as you become a lot stronger. And it won't take too long to get there. I'd say on average it's more or less the same if you plan out at the beginning of your campaign. If you decide, I want to go full Khorne, then you're able to just get all your buildings, get all the glory running in. I think Undivided will take a bit longer, but if you decide to go monogod, you are going to get there really, really fast, at least from my experience. Commandments have been updated with some new effects. You can see them on screen right now as I slowly scroll through them. This has been a case for every single race, so now they feel a bit more noticeable, and it's really just up to you. Remember that they also help with generating glory, so you will want to use that if you're dedicating yourself to a specific god. So I want to take the time now and talk about my experiences with the Daemon Prince and his faction. Obviously, what you're seeing on the screen right now is not that testing. This is just on easy mode to have some footage in the background. And I must say, he feels a lot better, especially once you get to the lockouts, you feel a lot more powerful. It's something that you don't notice too much, but the thing is, with the changes to growth, I'm talking specifically which is working around for game-wide, if you turn off taxes for region, you do get a lot of growth coming in, which does pair up nicely with all the other growth buildings that you do have access to be able to really get to tier 5 really quick. It depends on how you do so. Keep in mind that obviously that means that you won't really have some money coming in, so you can't do this with everything in one go, but I do find it to be very, very useful. Once you've gotten yourself a base, once you've established yourself, mostly in Norsca, I would say, and be able to just get to Undivided if you want to, or dedicate yourself to a god. I find the Daemon Prince a lot more fun when you actually have access to more units, rather than just unlocking them all, because it does take a bit of a time. And this definitely makes it a lot more faster and a lot more enjoyable. Remember, the idea is to have fun with this, and you have access to a complete army book worth of units, even then some with, say, for example, you know, the Toads. The Legions of Chaos feel like Legions of Chaos. It takes a while to get used to, as obviously a lot of people have been playing vanilla, but this is more fun, and I would recommend this if you're looking for a reason to play as the Undivided Daemon Prince. I'd say wait for the SFO patch to drop and just have some fun. He's honestly become quite the favourite with me here, but with all that being said, if you have any thoughts or criticisms and so on, please leave them in the comments below, as the SFO team do check it out, and yeah, have a great day. The beta launches on the 3rd of June, so it's not too long now, and have some fun.